Iya.
Kalau gampang daripada Raisa ya.
Iya.
Oh, ini ngapunten Prof. Warsito, ini Shalaisha kelas A ya?
Ya,
Iya.
Ini in English, running in English, your seminar proposal?
Yes.
ya. Jadi begini, saya kira di Sela itu presentasi bahasa Inggris, kemudian nanti Bu Elvina selaku peninjau juga bisa menggunakan bahasa Inggris. Kalau nggak jelas bisa pakai bahasa Inggris.
Oh iya.
Ya,
Ya,
jadi
ya.
saya kira seperti itu aja. Tidak harus
Ya.
full bahasa Inggris. Baik, saya mungkin pun supaya jelas pakai bahasa Indonesia. Ya. Baik, terima kasih. Selamat pagi Pak Faris, Bu Elvina dan Teresa. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Salesa,
Iya, Prof.
saudara diberi waktu maksimum 20 menit untuk presentation ya.
Ya.
Nanti kita masuki acara diskus untuk strategi adalah ini itu akan memasukkan nilai melalui sigma. Saya yakin Pak Faris itu sudah mendapatkan link untuk masuk ke sigma ya, Pak Faris.
Kayaknya kalau Sigma ini Pak Mar harus pakai email domain UB. Jadi biasanya nanti
Terus gimana ini?
Pak Faris akan dikirim manual format dan rubrik penilaiannya. Nanti kemudian dikirim ke Prof. Warsito. Nanti Prof.
Oh gitu.
Warsito atau mungkin ke admin nanti biar Mas Arief yang memasukkan.
Oke, jadi anu ya, bukan kami ya, bukan
Ya.
saya, Pak Faris yang langsung ya.
Ya, tapi
Baik,
Pak Warsito nanti dapat tembusannya.
terima kasih Mbak Vina atas informasinya. Oke, start presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Dr. Faris Hermawan as supervisor, and also Dr. Alvina as reviewer for today's research presentation, and also good morning to my fellow friends. Thank you so much for the time. I'm Shalaisa Americansa, who would like to present my research proposal with the title Synthesis Hydroxyxanthan Derivatives using ethane as antibacterial agent against gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. Before diving into the details, let me begin with the background of this research. The background of this research is rooted in antimicrobial resistance, or AMR, that has been recognized as one of the three major threats to public health by World Health Organization. In particular, bacterial infection contributes significantly to this issue. Antibacterial resistance itself is a phenomenon in which bacteria become unresponsive to previously effective antibiotics, leading to infection caused by this bacteria. Antibacterial resistance spreads due to the overuse of antibiotics, both in human and animals, accelerating the resistance process. According to WHO data 2024, E. coli and MRSA, or methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus exhibit medium high resistance, while Pseudomonas aeruginosa as high resistance. WHO classifies them as high and critical priority pathogens. In addition, Bacillus subtilis, generally known as non-pathogenic bacteria, but it can cause secondary nosocomial infection, where it is an infection that acquired during receiving health care. It is because it produces tissue-damaging toxin, penicillinase, and antibiotics, supporting infection and microbial dominance. With growing concern over antibacterial resistance, discovering new antibacterial agent is essential. One compound that has new antibacterial agent is xanthone. Xanthone is a metabolite secondary with tricyclic core that can bind with several protein receptors, giving them extensive biological activities including antibacterial. Among them, alpha-mangosteen isolated from Garcinia mangostana, showing strong antibacterial effect with MIC less than 2 microgram per milliliters. To further explore xanthone derivatives with antibacterial agent, synthesis of xanthone derivatives using ethane reagent with one-pot reaction. Next to the research problem of this research, the first one is how are 1.3.63 hydroxyxanthone, 1.3.73 hydroxyxanthone, and 1.3.8 hydroxyxanthone synthesized by utilizing ethane reagent as catalyst, and how are the antibacterial activity and the influence of the hydroxy group position of the synthesized hydroxyxanthone derivatives against Bacillus subtilis, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, Escherichia coli, and Pseudomonas aeruginosa. And for research objectives, the first one is to produce 1.3.63 hydroxyxanthone, 1.3.73 hydroxyxanthone, and 1.3.83 hydroxyxanthone compounds by using ethane reagent. And last, to evaluate the antibacterial activity and the influence of hydroxyl group position of the synthesized hydroxyxanthone derivatives against Bacillus subtilis, MRSA, E. coli, and Pseudomonas aeruginosa. This research have three limitations. First, synthesis hydroxyxanthone derivatives are carried out through the reaction of salicylic acid derivatives with fluorobucinol using ethane reagent as catalyst using reflux at 80 degrees Celsius for 5 hours. Second, characterization of the synthesized hydroxyxanthone derivatives is done using HNMR, CNMR, LCMS, and FTIR. And last, antibacterial assay is carried out by in vitro microdilution method on gram-positive bacteria represented by Bacillus subtilis and E. coli, and gram-negative bacteria represented by MRSA and Pseudomonas aeruginosa. This research is expected to provide scientific information on hydroxyxanthone derivatives about structure, reactivity, antibacterial potential, focusing on hydroxy group position and activity against drug-resistant pathogens. This table showing previous research that has been successfully synthesized through hydroxyxanthone derivatives using ethane reagent, which are demonstrating their effectiveness as anti-cancer and antioxidant agents. In particular, as anti-cancer, the position of the hydroxy group plays a crucial role in targeting specific cancer cells. The structural insight may also be relevant to antibacterial activity for the synthesized hydroxyxanthone in this research. Moving on to the ethane reagent that we'll be using as a catalyst in this reaction. Ethane reagent is a mixture of this phosphorus pentoxide and methanesulfonic acid that has been introduced as effective catalyst in xanthone synthesis. It is function as catalyst, facilitating deprotonation and protonation, and also as dehydrating agent. In this reaction, ethane reagent enables the formation of acylium ions from salicylic acid, which then undergoes a Friedel-Crafts acylation. This reaction proceeds through the benzophenone intermediate and then subsequently undergoes oxide closure, and then yielding the final xanthan product. Since acylium ions are generated under strongly acidic condition, their relative low electrophilicity makes them react efficiently only with electron-rich benzene, such as phenols. These are another common method for synthesizing xanthan. The first one is the Gruber-Shah and Shah reaction, but this method has limitation that the benzophenone intermediate must have one hydroxyl in the 6 or 6' position, along with the 2 hydroxyl in the position 2 and 2 position. If these conditions are not met, the additional homocyclization step of the benzophenone intermediate is required to obtain xanthan. In addition, Necker reaction is less commonly employed because of the high temperature needed and often leads to the undesirable OD methylation. Similarly to the polyphosphoric acid, the result is very low even with the microwave heating. Because of this reason, ethane reagent is the most effective and efficient catalyst in synthesizing target compound, and also ethane reagent is more environment friendly and easy to handle compared to these 3 reagents. This is the timeline of my research where the synthesis hydroxyxanthan derivatives are already done in February and continue to be verification, and for characterization starting in middle March, and for antibacterial assay will be done in the middle May. Next to the research stages, the first step is synthesize hydroxyxanthan derivatives and then continue to verification using preparative thin layer chromatography, and then the pure compound will be characterized using HNMR, CNMR, FTIR, and LCMS, and last for antibacterial assay will be done with microdilution method to determining the minimum inhibitory concentration and minimum bactericidal concentration. These are the tools and the material that will be needed in this research. And moving on to the first step, which is synthesis. The synthesis of hydroxyxanthan derivatives is carried out by reacting salicylic acid 2.5 millimole with phenol 2.5 millimole. The salicylic acid that will be used in this synthesis are 2.4 dihydroxybenzoic acid, 2.5 dihydroxybenzoic acid, and 2.6 dihydroxybenzoic acid, and each of that is reacted with fluoroguanol. Both reagents are placed into the round bottom flask, and 2.5 milliliters of ethane reagent is added. The reaction is carried out under reflux at 80 degrees Celsius for 5 hours and then allowed to stand overnight. The reaction is then analyzed using TLC by comparing its spot with those of salicylic acid and phenol as starting material using N-hexane and ethyl acetate mixture as eluate to evaluate the formation of the target xanthan. Next, cold water is added to the reaction and it is left for 30 minutes until the precipitate forms. The precipitate is then filtered and then dried in the oven at 50 degrees Celsius and crude compound is obtained. Next, for purification, using preparative thin layer chromatography, where the plate or PTLC is made from 6 grams of silica diluted in 20 milliliters of aqueous and left to dry overnight. The first step is the optimal eluent for purifying the crude compound is determined by TLC using various composition of N-hexane and ethyl acetate. After that, the crude compound is dissolved in methanol and applied to the PTLC plate using drop pipette. The plate is placed in the chamber and eluted with the mixture of an hexane and ethyl acetate that has been determined before, and then after the elution, the plate is visualized under UV light. The silica containing the target compound is scraped off and then dissolved in methanol and filtered. The filtrate is then evaporated using rotary evaporator and evaluate its purity using TLC, and finally the pure compound is obtained. Next, for characterization, the pure compound obtained will be characterized by FTIR, LCMS, NMR including HNMR and CNMR. Last, for antibacterial assay, the method that we'll be using is microdilution method to determine the MIC, the minimum inhibitory concentration, and MBC, the minimum bactericidal concentration. The microdilution method involving a two-fold dilution that are starting from 1000 microgram per milliliters to 7.812 milliliters. The synthesized sample is dissolved using the MSO and then transferred to the 96 well plate and mixed with an equal volume of Muller-Hitton broth as a media, reaching a final volume of 200 milliliters per well. And then 100 milliliters of test bacteria, including Bacillus subtilis, methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus, E. coli, and Pseudomonas aeruginosa, that are adjusted to McFarland 0.5 standard, is added to each well. The plate then incubated for 24 hours in a shaker incubator at 150 rpm and at 37 degrees Celsius. In this method, the tetracycline serves as a positive control and the MSO as negative control. Next, after determining the MIC, the lowest sample concentration that inhibit bacterial growth is transferred into the agar natrium plate to see if there are any growth of bacteria, and that is determining the NBC value. If there are any bacterial growth, it means that the compound doesn't have bactericidal activity. That's all for me. Thank you so much for the time, and thank you so much for your time and attention. I apologize for any mistake in my presentation, and I'm very welcome for any feedback further. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sela. Now we enter the task taking. I give the first opportunity to Dr. Elvina to provide input or question. Please, Dr. Elvina.
Okay. Thank you very much. And first of all, I would like to say congratulations for you, Shalaisa Amaihansa, on reaching the proposal stage today. And I would say also thank you for your presentation. It's clearly and also systematically. I follow your presentation, and, especially when you mentioning the gaps on the research based on research. So you have the for major scientists, your college synthetic hydroxanthan derivative, yeah, based on the lack of the research. Choose to scientists with the what is it? Eaton
Regan? Yes.
Is it correct? Yeah. Okay. question. First is why you give big attention in Santan? Santan, yeah. Is it your top extract raw material from natural product? You mentioned the
Mangustana.
blah blah blah, mangosteen, or you just make the synthetic starting material? Okay.
Izin menjawab, Bu. Well, first, because santan is mainly found in mangosteen, which is one of the compound is alpha mangosteen that has antimicrobial activity. After that, but if we only depending on the isolated on the plant, the discovering is only in the circle of the compound of contained in the plant. So to make it more efficient and effective and exploring new compound, I did to synthesize by utilizing salicylic acid with phenol, and it's already common for synthesize santan.
Oh, I see. So in your pathway, at first step, you synthesize santan first from the salicylic acid. Is it correct?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And then you make through the activation, and then you continues with the addition of hydroxyl group.
No,
Is that
ma'am.
correct?
No. So for hydroxy group, it came from the phenol. So only salicylic acid and phenol, and then attached, making a santan group.
Okay. And then how you adjust the group? Because salicylic acid 1, 2, 3,
Oh yeah.
and the product go to hydroxyl. This way.
Sorry. Wait. Yeah.
How do you guarantee that your specific portion of the R1, satu R2, salicylic acid number 1, and your is with the satu?
Maybe let me explain in Indonesia.
Boleh.
So the ethane reagent of methylsulfonic acid in here basically will attack the carbon di sini, di yang di COOH, and then the
If you like pointers, so
oh yeah,
follow your explanation.
wait. Oke. Jadi nanti methylsulfonic acidnya itu bakal menyerang C di sini, C di sini, and then dia di sini juga akan mengambil H dari methylsulfonic acidnya. Karena unit C-nya udah terlalu banyak, nanti OH-nya juga akan mengambil methylsulfonic acidnya lagi dan dapat jadi H2O sampai akhirnya nanti OH dari fluorobusin ini akan attach ke OH di sini dan OH juga akan attach di sini. Mohon maaf Ibu jika tidak proper menjelaskannya.
Okay. You try to explain but my question is how you ganti gimana sih salicylic namanya jadi salicylic itu memastikan memastikan bahwa regen asam salisilat dengan S1-nya OH, R2-nya, jadi OH-nya ada di posisi S1, itu akan menghasilkan poliklorida santonmu juga dengan OH-nya di S1 gitu.
Oh, kalau OH di sini itu dari salicylic acid-nya udah nempel, Bu.
Oke, jadi makanya ketika salicylic acid itu berarti kan kamu punya 3 jenis asam salisilat
Iya.
ya. Sudah kamu kondisikan kan, maksud saya apakah memang nanti santonnya itu jadi lebih ke itu ya, siklisasi yang ketiga ya. Itu ya. I see. Okay. Jadi when you state the gap of the previous research that the hydroxyl positionnya itu belum exactly di tempat yang akan memberikan anti-cancer yang tinggi atau aktivitas antibakterial yang tinggi, itu ternyata your experiment here is membuatnya itu dari asam salisilat yang sudah spesifik posisi OH.
Iya,
gitu ya.
betul Ibu.
Oke. Ya pasti sih. Proses siklisasinya itu ya di sini menentukan itu ya. Oke. Ya. Oke. Jadi kamu sudah itu ya. Nah, ini kamu mengerjakannya satu-satu ya. Jadi in the first running you use salicylic acid raw material atau materialnya with the OH in position S1 in S1 position, and then next you going to running another reaction untuk yang salicylic acid with OH in S2 gitu ya. So sehingga ketika you do the step characterization or identification with the TLC juga the mixture ya, tapi dia memang sudah terpisah gitu ya. Oke. Tadinya saya mau tanya gitu, how to identify the three product of your hydroxycenter gitu, di mana produk itu is different hydroxyl positionnya. Jadi satu-satu.
Iya, satu-satu.
Oke. Itu bahasa nama bahasanya apa?
Freedom Bu.
Oke. Next. Pertanyaan berikutnya verifikasinya. Mungkin. Oke. How to identify your question itu di setiap material with the product that you expect to produce gitu ya. Jadi kamu ngebedain antara spot di TLC itu dari sisa asam salisilat dan mungkin regennya tadi reaksi dengan produk yang kamu hasilkan. Itu kamu gimana bedain?
Itu saya membandingkan dengan startingnya ada 3 titik Bu di TLC-nya, salicylic acid yang digunakan, fluorogusinol, and then the product. If the RF is different, it may be the target compound is not the starting material.
Okay, and I think you have already made a recommendation. Would you please tell there is a different reduction factor between the three chemical salicylic acid and then your reagent and your product?
Okay, for yang mencoba berdasarkan hasil TLC-nya itu, for salicylic acid is tend to retain in the bottom of the TLC, and for fluorogusinol a little bit above of the salicylic acid, but for the target compound is much higher than the starting material.
So ensure that through the TLC, with the kind of your your mix of your solvent, terutama elusinya itu sudah dipastikan RF-nya akan terlihat gitu ya. So when you go to next step to characterize with LCMS, etc., you will grab the spot just only the product by what is technical itu, or how?
So jadi itu akan jelas perbedaan di itu spotnya sangat hitam, sedangkan untuk produk sampingnya jadi sangat mudah untuk dipisahkan, namun tidak jarang juga antara target produk dengan produk samping itu berdempetan, jadi harus hati-hati. Nah, dilarut metal, dievaporasi dan dihasilkan pure metal. Jadi benar-benar harus pure sebelum masuk ke karakterisasi.
How you make the same spot for your one product or first product? So you have the plenty of your, how to produce the plenty of your spot yang kita sebut seperti KLT preparatif, itu kamu lakukan nggak?
Iya, ini saya lakukan menggunakan
itu ya?
KLTP.
Oke, jadi kan nggak mungkin cuma satu kali langsung dikrop ya, itu kan apa karena kamu bilang nitik spot, nitiknya itu kan 3 itu, asam salicylate-nya, hasilnya sama produknya. Tapi supaya kamu ngeroknya dapat banyak, kamu harus menitiknya itu yang lebih banyak gitu loh. Maksudnya itu posisinya paralel, jadi kamu bisa dapat kerokannya banyak. Kamu lakukan nggak?
Iya Bu, jadi untuk yang dibandingkan dengan starting material itu menggunakan plat TLC yang standar. Itu kalau misalnya yang untuk pure fruit compoundnya, iya itu langsung di platnya tanpa harus dibandingkan. Ya, jadi ininya di tetesinnya langsung sejajar, langsung satu garis gitu. Jadi akan menghasilkan lumayan banyak spotnya yang bakal diambil.
So berarti your research ini, Shalisa, ini mungkin my last question ya. The crucial point-nya adalah keberhasilan kamu melakukan estimation itu ya, karena di position of hydroxy group itu sudah menetap di sana gitu, sesuai dengan your goal to make to produce 3 kind of hydroxy center derivative with the different position of hydroxy groupnya kan sudah di step di bahan awalnya dulu gitu. Dan keberhasilanmu itu adalah di proses cyclic acylation-nya ya.
Iya betul Ibu.
Oke, mudah-mudahan semudah yang kita bayangkan ya. Sampai jadi produknya.
Ya, amin Ibu.
I think it's enough from me, Pak Marsito.
Thank you so much Bu Elvina.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you Dr. Tina for question clarification secara proposal. Next, I give the time and place to Dr. Haris. Maybe there's still something that is to be clarified and asked. Please.
Okay, thank you, Marsito. Congrats for Sheila. Your achievement until now successfully reaching your proposal. Maybe I have some question for you to complete your proposal. First, I don't see the hypothesis of your research, so can you explain what is your hypothesis in your research? Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. The hypothesis is the salicylic acid derivatives 2.4, dehydroxybenzoic acid 2.5, dehydroxybenzoic acid, and 2.6 dehydroxybenzoic acid acid is reacted with fluoroguicinol, it will forming 1.3.6 trihydroxyxantone, 1.3.7 trihydroxyxantone, and 1.3.8 trihydroxyxantone. Hypothesis is that trihydroxyxantone that already synthesized having antibacterial activity against Bacillus subtilis, MRSA, E. coli, and then Pseudomonas aeruginosa.
So there are some paper that has explained your synthesis before using the Eaton reagent that produce some derivatives for prove your hypothesis.
Yes.
And why you choose the gram positive and gram negative integrated the hydroxy effect that is increase the activity of antibacterial on your studies. There are some maybe a paper that explain the increasing of hydroxy group can also the increasing of the inhibition activity in the antibacterial or the different position can also impact the activity of antibiotics.
Okay, for the previous research that already done, monohydroxyxantone, dihydroxyxantone, and trihydroxyxantone, showing that trihydroxyxantone giving the best MIC than the others, so that it can be proven that the jumlah dari hydroxy group is affecting to the MIC value. And for the position, I haven't found yet that discuss about the position of hydroxy group in xanthan against bacteria, but for the anti-cancer that I have been mentioned before, that different position of hydroxy group giving different targeting of cancer cells, so it maybe can be relevant to the antibacterial activity too. That will be proven later in this research.
Okay. The next question is it's been here 1 month since early of January. So how is your progress research until now?
Oh, I already have 2 pure compound from 2.6 dihydroxybenzoic acid with fluoroguicinol and 2.5 dihydroxybenzoic acid with fluoroguicinol, and already have the HNR spectrum, and we continue for the 2.4 dihydroxybenzoic acid with fluoroguicinol. And I'm currently in the purification stage for the 2.4 dihydroxybenzoic acid.
Have you some problem in your research that maybe rather difficult to solve on your research? Like your problem, what is the biggest problem of it?
Maybe for me in purification using layer chromatography, where the side product and the target product spot is very low, so it sometimes if I put the crude product in the plate too much, or I put it in the chamber too long, the spot will be overlapping each other and it is filled, so I have to redo the purification again. Maybe that's my biggest problem.
Maybe I think it's enough for the proposal in which the research of still running off cell. Thank you.
I appreciate the presentation and discuss that took place. I don't have many questions. There are only two. Same as clarified by Dr. Athena. What is the key to success of the synthesis of the target molecule?
The
And, okay.
I'm sorry.
Apa yang menjadi
Iya.
kunci kesuksesan untuk sintesis target molekul Anda?
The key is on the reaction in the reflux where the both of starting materials should be attached to each other, or the key is on the acylation reaction itself. If it not succeed, it's very hard to continue.
Oke, yang kedua, apa kendala yang dihadapi
Kendalanya
menyelesaikan riset ini?
kendalanya itu pada saat di verifikasi, Prof. Jadi kadang di KLTP itu Profnya harus hati-hati, dan juga sampelnya juga jangan terlalu tebal, dan untuk elusinya juga jangan terlalu lama, biar nanti spotnya tidak overlapping dan bisa dipisahkan dengan baik.
Oke, jadi di situ harus berbagai elemen coba ya, untuk supaya antara bahan dasar dan target molekulnya tidak. Baik, saya kira cukup untuk presentasi dari Dr. Paris, Dr. Alvina, bisa kita akhiri, dan pada kesempatan ini saya mengucapkan terima kasih.
Terima kasih, Ibu. Salam. Halo teman-teman. Ternyata Mbak Alvina sebaik itu. Terima kasih ya teman-teman Dimas dan Irfan atas bantuannya.